On the night of September 24th, 2025, the coastline of Guangdong was swallowed by darkness. Winds screamed, howling like 1,000 wild beasts. Shenzhen, a megacity of 17 million people, a hub of technology and finance, suddenly shook like a sinking ship. Glass shattered. Shards of steel and crystal rained down on empty boulevards like deadly knives. Zhuhai, the coastal city near Macau, turned into an apocalyptic canvas. Roofs torn apart, towering waves devouring markets and narrow streets. Cries for help drowned in the roar of the storm. And the chilling question arises, can any city on Earth truly withstand the wrath of Ragasa? If a wealthy megacity can collapse in just a few hours, what will happen to the billions living along the world's coastlines? Stay until the end of this video, because what you are about to witness is not only the story of Guangdong, but a survival lesson for us all. On September 24th, Ragasa made landfall in Guangdong with sustained winds over 200 kilometers per hour. Relentless rain flooded streets, transforming avenues into violent rivers. In Shenzhen, just one day earlier, the city pulsed with life, commuters rushing, traffic endless. But then, silence. Subways halted. Bao'an International Airport canceled every flight. Buses and ferries stopped. The city froze, while the storm howled. Skyscrapers trembled violently. Windows burst apart. Scaffolding ripped away. Cranes toppled like toys. Streetlights blinked out, leaving the metropolis in suffocating darkness. In Zhuhai, the horror was even greater. Waves smashed over seawalls, swallowing entire markets, ripping rooftops into the night sky. Children's screams echoed between crashing thunder as whole neighborhoods vanished beneath the flood. Electricity failed. The city fell into a suffocating black void. But which threat was deadliest? The torrential rain, the surging floods, or the merciless winds that turned steel and concrete into weapons? Ragasa's power was no accident. It was fueled by abnormally warm seas, 1 to 1.5 degrees Celsius hotter than average. That heat became its endless fuel. In just 24 hours, Ragasa transformed from a strong storm into a super typhoon. This is known as rapid intensification. Once rare, now increasingly frequent, driven by climate change. And this is not an isolated tragedy. Remember Haiyan in 2013, winds of 315 kilometers per hour, killing over 6,000 in the Philippines. Mangkhut in 2018, shutting down Hong Kong. Katrina in 2005, nearly 1,800 dead, $125 billion in damages. Ida in 2021, leaving millions powerless even with accurate forecasts. The pattern is clear. Warmer oceans, wetter atmosphere, weaker humanity. Ragasa is only a symptom, but what happens when the next storm is twice as powerful? A mother in Shenzhen recalls. When the windows exploded like bombs, I grabbed my 2 children and ran for the basement. In the pitch black, My daughter whispered, "Mom, will our house collapse?" I couldn't answer. I just held her tight in Zhuhai. A 70-year-old man stood before the ruins of his home, the roof torn away, his voice trembling. I worked my whole life for this house, and now nothing remains. Inside a hospital, a young boy clutched his father's hand, eyes wide with terror as doctors stitched wounds from flying glass. The cries of children echoed louder than the storm itself. These are not statistics. They are human lives, heartbreak, and silent tears etched into the memory of the storm. If these stories touch your heart, share this video. One share could raise awareness, and one day, awareness might save a life. But beyond families and homes, could the global economy withstand Ragasa's fury? Ragasa did more than destroy buildings. It crippled the world's trade. Shenzhen and Guangzhou ports, vital arteries of global commerce, ground to a halt. Thousands of containers stacked idle, cargo ships anchored, unable to move, exports frozen, imports delayed, factories in America, Europe, Japan, deprived of critical components. One storm in Asia, yet its shockwaves shook the entire planet. This is the difference between past disasters and today. In our globalized world, every calamity travels far beyond its origin. Katrina devastated the U.S. Gulf Coast in 2005, but Ragasa, in 2025, rattled economies across continents. If one typhoon can paralyze the world's supply chain, what chaos awaits when multiple superstorms strike at once? The damage ran into billions of yuan. Factories collapsed, warehouses drowned, production stopped, 25,000 people forced to flee their homes, shelters overcrowded, children curled on cold concrete floors, the elderly waiting silently for water and food. Tens of thousands of workers, doctors, and rescuers rushed into the devastation. They cleared fallen trees, rewired power lines, pulled survivors from the rubble. Sweat, blood, and tears mingled in the ruins. Subscribe to Natural Destruction and join us in spreading these warnings. Knowledge today can save lives tomorrow. But are these heroic efforts enough? When nature grows fiercer, storms grow stronger, and climate change escalates without mercy? Ragasa left scars and lessons carved deep into history. No city is invincible. Shenzhen today could be New York, Tokyo, or Saigon tomorrow. Winds are silent killers, floods drown, but winds rip lives apart in seconds. Evacuation saves lives. 25,000 evacuated. Proof that early warnings can save thousands. The global supply chain is fragile. One storm can ripple across the world. And climate change is the invisible culprit. Ragasa is not an exception. It is a signal. The dawn of an age of superstorms. Remember the eyes of that child in the hospital. Remember the cries in the darkness of Zhuhai. They remind us we must act with compassion, prepare wisely, and unite before it's too late. Final question. Will humanity wake up, or will we keep sleeping until the next storm claims tens of thousands more lives? Ragasa has passed, but the scars remain. This is not just Guangdong's story. It is a warning for the entire world. Natural destruction exists to reveal these truths and to help you draw lessons for survival. If you believe that warnings today can protect lives tomorrow, subscribe to Natural Destruction. Every subscription is an act of humanity, spreading awareness, saving lives, and remember, the next video may hold the very lesson you or your family will need to survive.